We're gonna. Oh, next slide.
Apparently, okay. Sweet. Can you give us 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes? Sweet. Okay, let's restart this.
Just go.
No, it's not gonna work.
We can edit it, dude.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, how do you open this back up? How'd you do that again? Oh, there we go. Da-da. Okay,
so our perspective thesis statement is
the fairy tale of Beauty and the Beast gravitates around the powerful force of love. In the story, we see how love can overcome the superficial and the imperfections of life that plague us all. We are currently living in a world ruled by the facade of instant gratification and appearances. Social media is responsible for affecting the ways in which we perceive one another and in how we feel loved. We will compare trust, vulnerability, and the love for Beauty and the Beast.
The social issue that we will be discussing and trying to combat through our adaptation and our paper is how social media is affecting the way we make connections and create meaningful relationships. Social media today shows other people who they really aren't.
Okay, so the adaptation we chose to use was the story of Shrek. And so I'm sure you're familiar with the story of Shrek, right? You've seen the movie. Basically, you have Princess Fiona, who is this beautiful princess, lives in a tower, spends her whole life waiting for this Prince Charming guy to show up and to relieve her of the curse that she's been put under. All of a sudden, you have in the movie, you have Shrek, right, who's an ogre, big, ugly ogre, comes and rescues the princess and, brings her down from the tower and saves her from the dragon and from all these things. And as Princess Fiona is traveling with Shrek, she begins to fall in love with him despite his outward, ugly and rough appearance. And she begins to actually, learn who Shrek is, what kind of guy he is, and falls in love with who he is as a person. And really, she doesn't really care about what he looks like. Like I said, his outward appearance becomes unimportant, and she falls in love with who he truly is as a man. And you've seen the movie. Of course, at the end of the movie, they get married, and they live happily ever after. And of course, Princess Fiona turns into an ogre herself, which is kind of interesting. So we thought this was a great adaptation of the story of Beauty and the Beast, because it's really kind of that same premise, right? You have a beautiful girl, a beautiful princess, or a beast, you have a beautiful princess who falls in love with a beast or someone who's obviously very unattractive physically. And the moral of the story that as we learn to get to know people for who they are, we can focus on what's most important in life, rather than just looking at the physical attributes or the really shallow aspects of someone's life. So,
which ties into where things have become more about instant gratification and shallow, as Aaron said, with the emphasis that we put on the output through these social platforms, which are now creating lesser meaningful relationships and actions where we see people as a heightened sense of self and not who they really are.
Thank you for watching our presentation.